Yeah, we all are. Yeah. Get through these next few days. Yes. As I said, as soon as I get back home, I gotta work on review.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to welcome everyone and call the meeting to order. Our first item is going to be pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, board members. Sorry I didn't have a cadet to bring up here this evening. They've already turned in their uniforms. They're getting ready for finals. Hopefully they're at home studying and getting ready, but we do have just want to let you know, we have a couple of things planned for the summer for the kids to do. We're going to go 3-day camping trip right here locally. We're going to try to use part of the school grounds and use some of the activities available at the school, such as the lunches and stuff like that. Hopefully get about 20-30 kids up there to participate in that. Also, we're going to bring about 6th and 7th and 8th graders over and have a miniature competition for the upcoming youth to come up onto the high school and have a good time and throw some water balloons and at a target and have a little bit of a fun time and do a miniature obstacle course and even get a little physical exercise in June. So we're going to have them run about a half mile, do some push-ups and some sit-ups and have a little bit of, maybe get them some activities that they can get started on and get some excitement for them for next year. Get started early.
I figured you would take a field trip to Texas.
No. I'm going to take a field trip to Texas. But for some reason it costs a lot to take a whole bunch of people with me. I'd love to take a whole group with me. Take them to various different places, because I know lots of places, especially go down to the Confederate Air Force Base down in Harlingen, Texas. That would be good. They've got a flying B-29 down there. It's pretty interesting to see. I mean, it's not very often you get to actually see one of those in operation. But I also want to do the museum here in Louisville, because in Louisville and Lexington, there's some nice museums, especially there's an aviation museum right there in Lexington that I want to take the aerospace kids to sometime during the summer when I have opportunity. I'm just going to get them together and take them over there myself. And I think they'll enjoy that. There's even a helicopter in there I worked on during Desert Shield Desert Storm. And so it's a pretty interesting little museum they have there.
I might ask you to check out that museum in Dayton, Ohio. It's pretty much a hot spot for the beginning of aviation, and I haven't been there, but I know some people who have. But it may be a place you might want to look at in the future.
Very much so, considering Ohio is where the Wright brothers are from.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so I wound up some old videos that I showed of the Wright brothers. It's about an hour and a half long, and they showed how they set up their launch systems after they did the Kitty Hawk, North Carolina flight, what they did back here in Ohio in order to do away with that need of a long launching area and high winds. So how they overcame that. And we're actually got some working with some of the other kids at over at the community center this summer, and try to set up, get some more interest by setting up a rocketry class that we're going to be working on for a week with 4th through 7th graders. So hopefully that'll build some more interest in that program.
Well, I think it's great, the aerospace. Of course, Moorhead State, which I'm sure maybe you've been working with Professor, what's his name?
He's the one I think that created the Jiggy Bots for us to work on, and we're doing teaching the kids to solder. It gives them a little circuit card on. They completely build this little robot. They turn a switch on and it just hops around on the table, and has kind of fun to do. And yes, he's one of the developers for the high school programs.
I think they're one of 6 programs in the country or something, so that's great. And I'm glad you're working with this group. So
I think we're going to have a good time next year too, all throughout the whole high school. I know it's going to be a lot less enrollment, but I think it's going to still be a fun time. Any questions anybody have? See how things are going? I mean, the program's going well. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. We have a lot coming back. It's going to be, like I said, a little bit lower on enrollment this year, but we're still well above our 10% minimums that we need for our enrollment for the ROTC program. And I'm hoping we have about 30 total next year in the aerospace. I know we have, Mr. Horn has 22 in his program at the middle school, and I have 14 here, so that's a 36. I'm hoping we can keep most of them interested in moving forward in it, because I think they're enjoying the program.
check out that teeny drones. And
Definitely.
if you can get a partnership like Bullitt Middle School, so it'd be great if they could give you a few drones to So, you know, it's worth a try, so.
Yes, sir.
See it in the news.
So is there any kind of connection, you know, that we have between, what I heard Roger talk about Texas, you know, stuff a while ago with Fort Hood, from what I can understand, that's big, aerospace, you know, helicopters. and things.
Well, Fort Hood does have a pretty good size aviation asset, but in actuality, Fort Campbell has a larger aviation asset program than Fort Hood even does. Because there are 9 battalions of aviation at Fort Campbell. And also, I want to set up a field trip, but I've got to set up through the right programs for a reserve unit that's over here at Fort Knox, and that's not too far from us. That's about 4.5, 5 hours away. I can get to that pretty easy. And they changed from an Apache battalion to a Black Hawk battalion, so we can actually go out there and maybe even get to sit in the aircraft a little more, get a little more interest and understand how that system works. And,
In Texas, I was just kidding, because I know he's from Texas, so.
Are you from Texas, what part?
yes, sir, born and raised in
That's
Texas.
the reason I said it probably time to
I was
filter.
raised in the Houston area around Conroe, up north there is where I went to high school, but my family's originally from Bryan College Station. And I've been there since 1854. So I know Texas pretty well.
We appreciate you very much.
Yes, sir. And we've been enjoying our life here. It's a great little community. We're really having a fun time and look forward to being around for at least another 8, 10 years.
Sounds good.
Great.
You too?
And I'll let y'all get to your meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, our next item is a moment of silence. We'd ask that you all join us. Thank you. Next item is going to be our student spotlight.
Ms. Williams, you, Mr. Rose, would like to say something about our USA Skills State winners in the web development?
We have with us this evening Braden Mancy, and Braden won first place and this was really exciting for us, especially Mr. Rose. This is his first year as a teacher. This is our first year to have an information technology program. Of course, Braden's first year to take it, so we are just very proud for him to have won first place in the state. I think that's a testimony to the quality of program that Mr. Rose is developing at our school. And when Ms. Hunt left, I always read, you know, when one door closes, another one opens, so I saw the opportunity to add this program. And I think with growing technology that it was a good move. You know, we still have our business intact, and then we've had this too. So we're really excited. Also, Mr. Rose will have one completer who passed COSA. So I said, you're the first teacher ever at our school to have 100% COSA pass rate, not to mention you only had one student. That's okay. But he's doing a tremendous job. The kids love it. So we're really excited. We're excited for Braden. He is a great kid doing a great job. And you know, hopefully this is a career that he's going to be able to follow, and he's getting a really good introduction to it. Anything you want to say, Mr. Rose?
Yep, I mean, it's all Braden. It really is like, I mean, I started him off, you know, down the direction, and he just took off and ran.
So he made you look good.
Yes, exactly. I'm not one bit afraid to say it.
Well, that's what I always tell my players when I coach. That's your job, is to make you look good.
Yeah, it's all Braden, so it all goes to Braden.
Congratulations.
Do we have Jacob Blair this evening?
No, neither Jake or Dustin can make it this evening.
Jacob won third place in promotion bulletin board, and Dustin Kirk, he also won third place in promotion bulletin board. And our teachers were Mr. Rose and Mr. Johnny Dallas, who's our electricity teacher. Good job, guys. We're proud of you. Very proud.
From Mr. Rose also.
Yeah.
Get you again.
Stand over there. Mr. Jones.
Okay. The next item will be the faculty and staff.
Mr. Baker, do you want to introduce our staff in honor tonight?
All right, you may come up there.
Sure, if you want to.
Well, we had, earlier in the year, we had decided, after we looked at some of the data for the kindergarten readiness that the state requires, over the past 3 years, we've noticed that we really not moved the needle on readiness. So we were hoping that if we did maybe got to our schools and had some ideas about what would increase kindergarten readiness, getting kids ready for kindergarten. And so we partnered with the Early Childhood Council with they had some funds that they could give us, and we had some left over from when we raised the dropout age to 18, and we were able to do like a little mini grant competition with the schools. We did this previously with, and if some of y'all may remember, I know Roger remember like the Stay in to Win program that they did last year at Eden, so it's the same kind of spirit. And so I had 2 staff that wanted to be I'd like to spotlight tonight, and that would be Pamela Blackburn from Warfield Elementary and Heather Cassidy from Eden Elementary. And I don't know if maybe Terry or Heather, if you'd like to just talk for just a second, tell us what programs, what things you've done, and kind of what the response has been. It's been it's early now, but in what they're trying to do, but we're hoping, that we'll increase our readiness for next year when we do the Brigance test. We'll see that more kids are ready coming into school.
With our grant funding, we decided to do an evening program with our focus on our Head Start and preschool kids and anyone that's not in school right now. So we had about 25 kids come to the program with their parents. Some had siblings. We just had a little event to show them what the school looked like, what classrooms looked like, the lunchroom, kind of get them comfortable with the school atmosphere. And then the big goal with our grant money was to make backpacks for all of the kids there registered for kindergarten. So all the kids that are coming to kindergarten next year registered at Eden got a backpack full of school supplies. And we had scissors, crayons, glue, construction paper, dry erase boards, markers, a whole notebook of activities, all the ways parents could use these activities with their kids at home. So hopefully over the summer they'll have things they can work on. They may think it's playtime, but it's more than just playing. So hopefully once school starts, we'll see a significant difference in the kids that are coming to kindergarten.
And I think something too that you've done is that you did a Facebook page, right, that you and the parents, I guess, that registered, invited them to join it.
As the parents registered, we stalked them on Facebook. We added them all into our kindergarten group, so that way during the summer we can keep in touch with them. And already we've been able to tell them about events that the Early Childhood Council is doing. They did a day camp with preschool, and they are doing an evening one tomorrow. So we've been able to post those flyers to get in touch with those people that may not otherwise see anything on social media or in the newspaper. So.
And then from I think the program just as worthy, but a little different at Warfield too.
Yeah, we went a little bit different route. Instead of doing anything after school, we decided to do our program during school. Since Head Start leaves at 1 o'clock, we decided to bring some of the Head Start kids into our kindergarten classrooms, add them to the classroom, and they began doing the work that the other students are doing. So several of those students now, they can write their names already. And they're starting with letter recognition also. And that's one of our problems because we've always been very low, as Mr. Baker said, and we got our noodles together and what we could do about the very low, it is very low, the kindergarten readiness is for Warfield Elementary. So we're hoping this brings more kids into the program that are ready for school. So that's been our biggest problem. That's where we're concentrating on during school. Bring them in, give them a couple hours, and send them home on the bus. So that's what we've done. And I like her ideas also, because those are some very good ideas also.
And that's the other part of this thing too, is that, I asked them to share this stuff at any kind of, staff PD we would have or something like that. So it's not like, so it's something you can see that could be reproducible, at other schools. And hopefully we'll.
Yeah, our thinking was, we have a lot of kids that simply cannot get to school after school hours, or no one can come get them. So we decided we need to do this during school. So that was our thinking.
Ms. Cassie, you want to come up? First ever coaching job was had Miss Heather was her starting center, and little sister was a point guard. She had to train well. Congratulations.
Okay, our next item is discussion of possible action on MOA between Martin County Board of Education and Big Sandy Healthcare for school nurses.
I think we have Ansel, he's going to represent Big Sandy Healthcare. Would you like to tell us a little bit? This is the program where they're going to provide dental services for our students free of charge for us, and in return, he's going to give us a registered nurse. So, would you like to?
That's correct. I understand you've had a lot of discussion about school nurses and more specifically how you're going to provide nursing services in the school. Mr. Baker approached me and asked if we would be willing to provide a nurse in the Martin County schools, and we're willing to do that. I'm with Big Sandy Healthcare. We operate clinics. We're a nonprofit corporation. Our headquarters in Prestonsburg. We operate 5 clinics in the area. We have Sattersville, Hope Family Medical Center. We have what used to be called Mud Creek Clinic. It's now called Eula Hall Health Center. We have Shelby Valley Clinic in Pike County. We have Physicians for Women's Center at Oxford. And since 2009, we've been operating a clinic in the building where Highlands Regional Medical Center has the after-hours clinic. And some of you may know, but in February, we were able to buy that building. Dr. Leslie Dodson is there, Kara McCoy, a nurse practitioner, and we just hired Kay Nichols, also a nurse practitioner, who'll be working some there. So we're invested in the community. We, with the purchase of the building, we feel like we're here permanently, and we're willing to provide a registered nurse to the schools. Also, we would like to provide dental services. We've been providing dental services in Floyd County, in Johnson County. We saw about 3,000 kids this current school year. And many of the kids, it's their only opportunity to have a dental visit. So we've had several discussions about possible details, but I guess the big picture is we are willing to provide a registered nurse and also to provide the backup of Dr. Leslie Dodson and Kara McCoy from the clinic.
Sir, I just want to thank you for the services that your hospital is doing to this area. Here at Inez, I would swear by that clinic. I would fight for Dr. Dodson if she told me to and pointed me in a direction. She not only has given me excellent care, along with Ms. McCoy recently, but she not only has given me excellent care, she diagnosed an EKG with heart trouble and pretty much told me immediately to get a cardiologist, which I did, and it was set in motion. I had quadruple bypass, and I had 2 blocked 100% and 2 arteries blocked 90. So I was a walking time bomb. She saved my life, and I hope that your other clinics around the area have people like Dr. Dodson, who is so compassionate and actually really cares about you. Doesn't look away out in the clouds. She looks you directly in the face and she tells you, I just love her.
She's an outstanding physician.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to thank her, not me.
Oh, I have several times. I don't leave the doctor's office with a thank you or a handshake. I hug that lady every time I'm there.
I understand.
Yeah.
I just want to say also, I'm very appreciative of you coming on board, and which really helps. We're in a need. We have a great need as far as school nursing. And of course, one thing that Paul brought up, and I hope you'll continue to think about that, is once at high school, you know, partnership, and if we can put it like a clinic up there where
Absolutely.
our kids can shadow, you know, learn, and plus not only learn, but also get excellent health care. But I'd definitely like to see that happen.
Well, so would I. I think having a clinic in the school would be very beneficial.
Which I know Lincoln County, West Virginia, which I would look, a lot of these newer schools, and they have, of course, I don't know if you have one similar, maybe at Shelby Valley or what you do there, but anyway, outside the school. But anyway, Lincoln has one within our school, in which the kids, you know, it's in the nursing program shadow. So that would be great. So I appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Do we need a motion?
No, we need
Yeah,
a motion
and-
to accept.
And we need to make the motion, you know, pending approval of contract.
Yeah, ultimately, we come back and approve the final agreement.
Yeah.
We'll have to draft a memorandum of agreement. And you'll have it.
Yeah, what you have is like a discussion, they're working out the details, you know, can we make them up, can we
Yeah,
approve it pending,
yeah,
pending?
Yeah, then we'll
approval?
bring back a mutually acceptable
Right.
document, and then you can approve it. But you can go ahead and vote now and do it.
Okay.
So,
I'll make that motion to enter into an agreement with Big Sandy Health Care to pending contractual memorandums of understanding between the two parties to accept them wholeheartedly into the, and that's it.
I'll second.
This motion, I have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-1. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And our next item is going to be discussion and possible action on our school health program for 2016-2017 school year.
We have talked about this, I think it might have been the April meeting, a discussion on what we want to do to provide health care for our kids for the next upcoming year. We have a couple options on the table. We can either, we can do several different things, but what we can afford and what option provides the best care for our kids while we're here. So we're gonna have the RN, we're gonna have an RN on call, basically, and they can come for any emergencies. Do we want to train assistants in our building, current assistants in our building, to provide the health care, and then call the RN as needed, if needed, or when needed? Or we want to look at providing a nurse on each side of the hill, so to speak, one over here but then that's only half-time. That's the problem.
That's what we were, we said in the April meeting was, thank you for approving that too, but that helps because we would have to have a nurse to supervise. If you went the route of doing health assistance, we'd have to have a nurse to oversee those, at least the clinical part of their job. Anything you would train them to do, this nurse would train them, if it was giving a diabetes, or an EpiPen or something like that. But yeah, so that's kind of like Larry's saying, that's the options we could do, either the health assistance, and we would do, I think 5 assistants, so that would allow that nurse that Big Sandy would provide us to travel to those other schools and still give the school that they would be at that coverage. So it would be 5 assistants, and then they would have that. That's the one option. Again, the other option was to do 2 nurses or 1 nurse, whatever, some option where you'd have nurses in the schools half-time. Which again, then still you would probably have to have an assistant because the nurse is going to be, at one school and the kids are going to need medications in the afternoon or after lunch, and so it's, it's still, you'd still be obligated to do the assistance if you did more than 1 nurse or had more than 1 nurse. So it's really, those are, like I said, our 2 choices. That we need to kind of make a decision so we know, so I know what way to go, you know, to plan, in planning with Mr. Lewis, what steps to do for the health program.
These assistants that you're talking about, Mr. Baker, they would, my understanding of the last meeting we talked about this, they would have only a week of training.
That's where, yeah, that's what I've been told when I was talking to Floyd County. That's kind of the model they use. They have, the Floyd County Board of Education employs one nurse, and she's like their district health coordinator. So, and then they have, at their schools, they have the health assistants. And so some of the things that they do is like vision and hearing screenings, medication management, first aid. I think that's probably, that would be the big things. But yeah, they would be, so they train, and actually Floyd County has offered to include our people in their training if we go that route this summer. And they would be there's 5 days of training they do, and they get trained on these various areas.
Because my understanding is these people already be on staff, that they're going,
Yeah, we would.
already on staff now.
They would be people that we already, yeah, I mean, if we go that route, what I would say is that we would go to the principals and, you know, Larry and I would have a conversation about, you know, thinking about who they would want to make their health assistant. You know, I would think, you know, it would, you know, there'd be
Some train two in each building, that way you always got a backup, and then plus you got your.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have to do the vision and.
They wouldn't have to. I'm just telling you what
The
they.
hearing screenings, because our special education staff and speech pathologists take care of
I was
that.
wondering about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
good.
wouldn't have to do that.
I think that's the best route to go, the assistance that's already in the building. And plus, we would have the backup of Dr. Dodson, and
And the
Karen,
and the new two nurse practitioners. And they've talked about, I mean, some of the things that Big Sandy's working on is like doing some telemed. So they could even, with this nurse, she could come out and she could actually see a kid, do telemed with the child, and then with Dr. Dodson, and then they could write prescriptions or whatever a kid may need, and not even have to leave, like say, especially a student like at Warfield, where transportation a lot of times is an issue. Getting them into the clinic, that's not anything concrete, but
I'm sorry.
certainly something we're thinking about.
This one nurse that we're getting, what are the alphabets after her name or his name?
They would be an RN. That's what Ansel has, said he would provide a registered nurse in exchange for allowing the dental services.
Okay. Now, underneath, I don't mean underneath, but I mean, an LPN is what?
A licensed yeah, and probably Martha, you could probably just explain.
Oh, she's still, okay, yeah.
And I can't what the difference.
RNs are trained, their scope of practice and everything, they're taught a little more in-depth assessment. Also, they have more of a liberal arts general education than an LPN. LPN's more on the technical side, where RN's more on the professional side. A shorter period of time. Used to be RNs were not allowed to do like any venipunctures or IVs or anything. Now, their scope of practice is pretty much that of an RN.
Okay. Now, the LPN can be hired at a lower rate than an RN.
Yes.
And I don't know, Mr. Superintendent, but maybe if we sit down with a budget man or woman or both and see where the money would come from and how much that would be, that could be an option, sir, to if we're getting one RN, how much would it cost us to hire the services of, say, 2 LPNs? One on, I hate to use that, but you know what I mean, yeah.
Well, but it does make sense because.
Because of the distance traveled, yeah.
Yeah.
And then have the school that do not have one of those stations there have, you would need what? 2 or 3 more? That would take you down to 3, right?
If you had,
Healthcare.
yeah, if you had, you're saying if you had 2 LPNs, and then you would have like,
Take it down 2.
Huh?
Right, 2.
10 and 2.
Yeah, and you would always have the advice from Dr. Dodson and Mr. McCoy. Now, that's an option we haven't looked at, but, you know, if there's, and these people, these trained assistants, 5-day trained assistants, could also call on the LPNs that are closer to them. And, you know, besides the nurse. I'm just thinking out loud, Mr. Baker, but I wonder if that might not be an option. If we looked at it and.
It's just gonna be more expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just cost.
Yeah. It'll be the cost of 2 LPNs.
Yeah.
And insurance and things like
I
that.
mean,
Well,
Does the RN have to, somebody has to check the work of these assistants who were trained? And I may be wrong, but I think an RN has to do that, not an LPN.
Right.
So the RN is gonna have to, you'll double your duty of your RN in terms of supervision of your trained assistants.
if you just have 1 RN
Yeah.
and 5
Yeah.
week trained, not WEAK, but WEEK.
Well, also over the 2 LPNs, that's what you're trying to say.
I'm saying an LPN can't supervise the assistants.
No, but could an LPN be a reference?
I mean, you could have the
Like an-
LPNs do, all I'm saying is that I think under nursing practice.
Yes.
And in Floyd County, we ran into all kinds of problems with the nursing boards, and UK and everybody else. I think the bottom line is your trained people can do this work, but the nurse always has to keep spot check and maintain a certification, or that they're all capable of doing this, and that they continue to be capable of doing it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you don't want to have LPNs, but your LPNs probably won't qualify as the people necessary to supervise
Your assistant.
these people. And all I'm saying is if you had 2 RNs, one is supervising, you've got them split, and the other way, the 1 RN has to continue to maintain.
I think that's what we talked about, what it, Paul, like I said, I want like the health assistants, if you got 1 or 2, hopefully 2, then 1 RN to supervise or oversee that area and 1 over in this area. That's what I like.
Well, that sounds good. I think what we need to
That's
look
what I
at
would
here,
prefer.
I think, Mr. Owens, what we need to do is look at the cost.
Check with the finance.
And for Mr. James, Superintendent James to check on this. Is there any reason why we have to make the decision tonight on this? Can we do it at the next board meeting?
That's the route I would like to go, again, depending on, you know, the cost or whatever. Again, we're not looking at,
I think we have the salary range for if we pick up 2 RNs, we have between roughly 55 to 77, depending on.
I'm assuming that, you know, we do have, the thing to think about too, is that we do have 3 nurses currently working in our schools that are still under the health department. And so they are kind of waiting to see what direction that we go, you know, because
Sure.
they need to know, you know, if do they need to look for employment elsewhere. So, I mean, in terms of, I mean, you're right, we don't have to decide tonight, but, we do need to kind of, you know, make a decision so that we can plan, because I need to find out, like, you know, if we go the health assistant route, I need to contact the Floyd County, people and get our
Sure.
people trained, and then also the principals need to kind of select, you know, who they want to be that person. So, I mean, there is not to try to push the issue, but I guess there are some factors that need to kind of be worked out, because we've got, you know, once school's out, you know, it's very hard to get up with people and get things together, but, you know, but like I said.
I don't see any reason why we can't have a special meeting on this as soon as Mr. James finds some information out for us.
Well, we have, we'll need to have one the week of the 23rd. I was gonna ask you guys tonight to approve the bids for Eden, so that's just 2 weeks away, if we wanna wait. Yeah, and then the tentative budget, correct. You know, we have an approximate, for two RNs it says 45 to 67 plus $10,000 in supplies.
What I based that on was the current RNs we have, you know, their years of experience and what, you know, what other counties pay for RNs. So that's, the fluctuation is based on, you know, who becomes, you know, years of experience, and that's kind of the estimated cost for two. If we paid for two, was it 45 to 67?
Yes. I mean, the only problem is, you know, the more we spend for healthcare,
The less we spend.
we're in the school business. I mean, that's the rub. The more we pay for providing health care for our kids, and that's important. I mean, paying one, you're taking away from something else. But now I can get that information and we can meet, like I said, in 2 weeks and.
Or if you want to meet earlier than that, Mr. James, would be fine with me.
So are you saying we can get an RN for a year for $24,500?
Probably like starting out, if you, maybe it depends on what you put the salary. I've looked at other, like what other districts have paid, and yeah, you could work it out. They're right now, a lot of them are not, I mean, are making that right now for the health department or less. I mean, starting out.
Really?
That's a bar rate for an RN.
It really is, I mean.
It's a bar, I mean, the starting rate right now is 25, 26.
I prefer to go
That's what I was asking, I
to
just can't believe.
And the attractive thing is that, you know, just like the reason that people get into to being a teacher is the time off, you know, and so nurses are no different. They have kids, and they're willing to get, you know, take less pay, that they can spend time with their families, and they like, you know, all the nurses like working for the schools. It's a lot easier than working in the hospital. You know, Martha probably could tell me, you know, better than that. So I mean,
No, we're looking at two total, like counting the one RN from Big Sandy, then we pay for one?
he's saying one. I think Roger's saying one, don't you?
So you're talking at.
Yeah,
looking at two.
one for the area over there and one for the route.
And the Big Sandy one would be, just assuming the Big Sandy one would be
One, that's one.
this one over on, maybe on his
So all we
side.
would have to do is pick up the cost of just one.
Oh, see, I was
one.
confused
Healthcare
too.
will pick
I mean,
up.
I still think the assistance because of money. I mean, like Mr. James said, when
But I'm like,
it's on this, we're taking from something else.
I agree with Mr. Smith there. I would prefer the RN to oversee the health assistance in this area and that one RN in that area.
And that's something like, Mr. Smith, that's something we're putting in the MOA, is that, you know, that nurse, while she would not be, he or she, I shouldn't say she, will not be the supervise the job, the principal would do that. They would oversee the clinical, you know, training, education, that part of the job, for our health assistants if we went that route.
So we're talking about having two registered nurses.
Yeah.
One on each
That's
side.
one option, yeah.
Yeah, Big Sandy's providing us with one, and we're,
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking about?
also with the health, but with the health.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah.
Then we
It should be the one that we had to be responsible for.
right.
Yeah, but with the,
Yeah.
health assistants working under these registered nurses, correct?
Correct.
Is that right?
We could, I mean, we could do that too. We could have one from Big Sandy, one that we own, and, And then we have the health assistants, you know,
Yeah.
And we can
What I was
make
looking
them-
at, it just looked like that you could just have two nurses, one on each side of the hill, or the health assistants. You couldn't have both, but we could have like a hybrid between.
The health assistants, I mean, what the plan
Be
is.
stationary.
Right, is to train who we already have, so it's not, we're not,
We wouldn't be adding
we're
to
not
our
adding
cost.
more.
Okay, yeah,
Right.
okay.
So it's, I mean, it's a matter of training, the cost of training.
well, the training and I mean, assuming that given the nature of the job, I think you would probably, you know, there would be, you know, I don't know what the pay scale, we can look at it, but for some people it might be an increase because you're talking about, you know, first aid and medication, there's obviously a little bit, you know, but, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be, those people are already being paid, so.
But if you have an RN and they see that student, then they can bill for that. That student has insurance.
If we go with the assistants, we wouldn't get that back because the RN from Big Sandy.
Schools can only bill for services
bill it.
for an IEP.
Yeah, we
Yes.
couldn't bill it, but Big Sandy could bill it. for
They,
Big Sandy.
they can't, well, they're a federal healthcare provider or something,
Oh, okay.
and
So
they
no
can't,
one-
they're federally funded, I think, so they can bill, the only time they can bill Medicaid is when like Kara McCoy or Dr. Dodson sees the child. So they're giving us the nurse at a loss, you know.
So we couldn't bill
Yeah.
it all.
No, we can't.
We can bill,
They can't either.
we could bill
Unless we
for,
use
if the child had an IEP, you know, that's something we're looking into potentially, is if the child has an IEP, and one of the things in the IEP is that they have a feeding tube or something.
We currently don't have any students that have medical needs on their IEP, fortunately.
Right.
You know.
But
So
we
we
could.
couldn't bill, correct?
But we
Huh?
could
We
get
couldn't
somebody
bill,
that-
correct? No one could bill, right?
Only if the child has an IEP,
That we don't currently have.
but we don't currently,
Okay.
right.
not
Because I know the
medical
health department,
services.
they bill for the,
They can,
That's
state law allows the health department to, bill for giving the Medicaid, aspirin, and any of those over-the-counter medications.
I just want to know, I appreciate what you've done, Paul, and appreciate Big Sandy Healthcare coming on board and helping, it'd be a tremendous help. And I will say this also, maybe I shouldn't, but I am disappointed in the Martin County Health Department. It's our kids, Martin County kids, and why they can't help, I don't understand. And that's all I have to say.
Okay.
So the current RNs, you said that you, for our school system is roughly 24, 25.
Are you sure about that? That seems awfully low.
For 9 months.
I mean, don't you think that's kind of low, Mrs. Williams?
Very low.
And they do it because the other kids
Well,
are in the
let
school
him,
system.
let him check, let him check. That's why I said,
Yeah, I just checked
the
on it.
monetary thing of it all, turn it
Yeah.
over to the super and let him report back to us. That's what my suggestion was.
okay, so we'll use this as discussion and until you find out some information,
Sounds good.
okay?
And if we need to meet on this before our next scheduled special meeting, schedule us a newer one, bud. Yeah,
But,
well,
Our next item is going to be discussion and possible approval of April 11,
Hit me
2016
with
board
an egg.
minutes.
always looking for something bad.
what'd you say?
Okay, discussion and possible approval of April 11, 2016 board minutes. Does anybody have any questions or comments on those minutes?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I was looking over these earlier on my hard copy and found some on the April the 11th is the first group, is that right?
Yes.
If you would, about 4 pages over, order 1345. it's halfway in between the
Yes.
page, you see it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Discussion and possible action on Eden, let's see, Eden Elementary metal roof and rebid. The Martin County Board of Education voted rebid. Board members Roger Harless and Board member Gary Ball voted no, passed with a motion by Mr. Gary Ball and a second by Mr. Roger Harris. That somehow doesn't make,
No, I don't think that's correct.
so it needs to be rewritten as to, it was passed, but surely it was, do you understand?
Yes.
I'll go over the tape.
Okay.
I'll look over the tape again.
Thank you.
Well, I wouldn't,
Could make a motion.
well, I wouldn't say it was something I voted no on.
Right. That's what I was looking at. Also, I was wondering, in the new business, on that couple pages over, it's item 15, 16, 17, where it talks about, a gentleman spoke to the board on the importance of the SRO in our schools. That's the school resource officer. And I was wondering if we had waited too late again, because I think Mr. Harless had told us, you had said something about it being April that we were supposed to put
We
a,
have, the cutoff was June, which I got some information, which, from Ms. McCall's office, so I don't know if you probably haven't chased a look over it, but,
I think the application opened last week, and it was like at the end of April, and it's, I think, June 23rd.
so need to get it in as soon as we possibly can, so. I know last year we missed it because I was thinking it was June the 1st, so.
It's,
Like I say,
think it's June.
we're getting to that, like Mickey said, we're getting to that date pretty quickly.
those are the only questions I had about that set of minutes. It was one that the secretary said she was going to listen to the tape and possibly rewrite that thing, or that item. And then I just wanted to hear again about that. Thank you, Mr. Harless.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments? So do we get a motion to go ahead and approve them with the exception of the one item, 1345, which she states she will redo?
I'll make that motion, ma'am.
Have a motion?
That
please?
one.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh, opposed, I'm sorry. Okay, motion carries. Our next item is going to be discussion and possible action on April 21st, 2016 board minutes.
16?
On April 21.
That was the deed.
Yes.
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve the board minutes from April 21st.
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to ratify action taken on the board at a special board meeting on April 27, 2016, which authorized Ross Tarrant Architects to take the following action on behalf of the board on 4, 5, 6, and 7 in board minutes.
Well, actually, what did that,
Okay.
what did that entail?
What group are we looking at?
This is-
April 27th.
27.
These were, to explain, these were the motions that I guess when architects came up they said were needed to be made, and they, perhaps that evening, and the one that basically I put the motion together, and Mr. McCoy
Yes.
made it. The reason this is on again is because this was a special meeting, and the notice of the meeting did not have any possible action, and so it needed to be ratified. Now, that's a procedure that is recognized, but that I don't like to ever advise. But in this instance, all the board members were for the motion, and there was no member of the public or anybody else harmed by it. So therefore, in my opinion, it's fine anyway, but I wouldn't have recommended it had it been something where there might have been an objection, but all the board members were for it. We recognized moving the school forward benefited everybody, and there was nobody in any position to object.
So can I ask
So
a
that-
question? Is this, are we we're in agreement, which I guess I voted.
You
Why
voted for
did,
it.
yeah, I voted. Why I did, I don't know, but, with Ross Tarrant.
Too late now.
What I'm saying, what I voted for, which I disagree with, is site prep, right?
I think they were going to go ahead and solicit bids and information.
We'll do the whole-
of those
Which,
kinds of
from my understanding, which Ross Tarrant, and I'd just like to make some comments about Ross Tarrant, which I'm disgusted with and frustrated with him. You know, again, as far as, what they have done and what they have said, which with their site prep plan is gonna cost us $500,000 more than another site prep plan that I've looked at. Which this thing here, which I just picked this up, so, the county is good enough to give us 56 acres, but yet Ross Tarrant turns around and says they need an easement for approximately 200 feet. Which I just got that today. Why, I don't understand why you get 56 acres and then you need 200 more, I mean, you need 200 more feet to ask the county for an easement. Not only that, we've told them for 8 months about the bats. And Mickey knows about them. I've told them over and over. I know I'm not very smart, and apparently they don't think some of us in eastern Kentucky are not smart at all. But I've told them since for 8 months about the bats. June and July, it's an endangered species, and you can't cut trees. So therefore, now, I guess Larry maybe can fill us in on the information. I guess you forwarded me an email from Roland, is that correct? Does that come from Roland? Which now he has found out, after he's waited 8 months, he's found out you can't cut trees in June or July, or you gotta do a bat study, which is gonna cost us $3,500. And if a bat is found, and we've already cut some trees, we're gonna be fined $50,000. Now, you know,
They won't find any.
I know about the bats.
but like I said, this Ross Tarrant group, you try to tell them, they don't listen. Is there any, I tell you, we should have got somebody else to do the school, the site prep and said, there it is, can you put us a school on there that looks halfway decent? And I'm just saying that because I want the best school, I don't want second best, which I'm still not satisfied with that. So I'm just putting my frustrations out there with this group. You would think that people that have done site preps would have been aware of bats and the endangered species. I mean, the highway department, which Larry talked to, what's her name, Murray Holbrook, and everybody else seems to be aware. Maybe they don't have bats in Lexington. Is that
Mr.
right?
Harrelson, let me add to your argument that I was told by Representative Collins, and he's no longer even our representative, but that the road construction at one time had to stop because of the Indiana bat. So, I mean, there had been what I'm saying is there had been a problem before.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just,
Yeah, it's all over. I've represented, an oil and gas companies on pipeline right of ways, and they can't build pipelines. They have to stop because of the bans.
yeah.
So if everybody else knew it, why didn't Ross Turner? Is this the only school? I think they did build one, or try to build one in Perry County Central, but I guess if anybody out there, if anybody asked me to give Ross Turner a recommendation, it sure wouldn't be a very good one.
But I think on the easement issue, there's supposed to be a meeting or something with the county, and somebody told me they'd let me know. We'll see where that
So
goes.
if they give you 56 acres, why do they need, why do we need an easement on 200 feet, 200 more feet? You got 56, can't you work with it?
I don't have any idea.
I heard it was 90, I thought it was 90 feet.
Well, it's right here, you can look at this drawing.
I think one of the things they wanted, as I understand it, is an easement, a permanent easement, but they wanted a temporary easement because they're gonna have to get over on both sides of the property. So they only have a temporary easement for a limited period of time until construction.
And I have to say too, again, on Ross Tart, that's a real professional job. I think probably somewhere, we've been talking about kindergarten, could have done a better job than that.
Well, I think they're gonna have somehow they're gonna have a survey or something. But that's an issue.
Yeah, that's another $6,000. So why have it surveyed? This is ridiculous.
Yeah, where was all this last time we met with them? I was the only one that got upset last time.
I've got up there, they're gonna do the site prep, it's gonna cost $500,000 more than another site prep plan. Not only that, it's gonna cost us 10 level acres of land, which, once you get a building and a school up there, it's gonna appraise a very high considerable amount, so you're gonna cost you thousands of more.
Just for two people.
Why I agreed to that, who knows?
I was complaining about that the last time we met with them.
And then I get this today, which I didn't know about, wanting 200 more feet from the county. So that wasn't included. I mean, is there anything that we can do as a board? Or are we just gonna have to pay the $500,000 more? We're gonna have to pay the $50,000 for the bat fee, $6,000 more to have this survey here. You know, it's just one thing after another.
Well, as far as the site.
Can't we get rid of that bunch as for site prep? I mean, if we're gonna be delayed because of bats, 2 months, you can get another civil engineer and have it done in a month.
But as far as the site prep, don't we approve that? I mean, they'll have to.
I think you all did last time, and I was upset about the $500,000.
Their plan, they came in here and they told us, here's what they said, we have made amends. Yeah, you're not gonna have to pay about, what was it, $4 million? Well, the amends they made, they took the cost of the water off and the sewage. They did not change one thing, we still got 19 parking places for buses up there. They never made one change and never amended any whatsoever, and they come in here and say they did. Go back and look at the first drawing, and I've looked at the first and the second, it's the same. Only difference is now you're getting funding or grant money for the water, so that's we can take off $1 million and so dollars, but you're still gonna have to pay $2.5 million, which under another site prep plan is $500,000 less.
Yeah, but they gotta submit a bid, right? And we can take the lower bid for the site prep, so there's no way they can do that.
You got the site prep plan though. I'm saying they drew their civil engineer.
Exactly. They had already submitted that, and then last time we met with them, they submitted another one, and it seemed like I was the only one that got upset because they were trying to drain the money that we got from the state, the extra money.
They never took off $1. It's the same amount. The only amount that was taken off is you no longer had to pay $1.3 million for water and $0.5 for sewage.
But if they submit it for bid, whatever it comes in at, if it comes in at 1.9, that's what I've heard that somebody is going to, that they can do the work for.
Well, that's.
Where do y'all hear all this stuff? I must live in a vacuum, I hear nothing.
No, and they took $4 million from the $5 million we just got, and I'm the only one that seemed upset about that at the last meeting. No one else seemed to, I mean, it was like, okay, well, we had already submitted one plan for the high school, which was awesome, and then the last time we met, it was an even more awesome high school. And no one seemed to care.
It can be done for less than 2 million, the site prep work.
Not with their side prep plan.
Yeah, but here's the thing about, that's what they say, that's what they believe that it's gonna cost. Once somebody submits the bid for it,
We won't know till
well,
we get the bid.
yeah. I mean, that's what they projected as the cost.
With knowing Ross Tarrant, he'll end up 2.8.
The thing about it, we've already made the motion, the second, it's been voted on. Tonight, we need to ratify our
Ratify.
action.
I make a motion, we ratify.
Wait. We are,
Can I vote no on this one, Mike?
we,
Ratification, I'll vote no. I'm sick of it.
okay, well, wait. What is up is, what we are now talking about is the minutes.
That's right, it's just a minute.
Yes, it's just the
That's all it
minutes,
is.
It's the minutes, and there is an objection by Mr. Harless on a particular, section of the minutes, correct, Mr. Harless?
On a motion that was
Okay.
made in the minutes.
Well, I also have a comment about one other item on this set of minutes that, I don't know if you read it, it's so lightly on mine, it's, order 1347.
That's where it fell, and it's in red, making sure you can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, 1347 is the motion to adjourn.
1347, under, item number 2 on, the, April 27th, 2016 minutes. Number 1 is call to order. Number 2 is discussion and possible action on early college academy.
All right. I think we need to back up maybe because there's another order, 1347,
Yes, there's two.
on April 20, April
81.
Yeah, April
April
21.
21.
These come from KSBA, a lot of times, and sometimes when there's a power failure or something, it'll kick. So I'll check on that again.
Okay.
Okay, now, my question about this, whether it's correctly identified as 1347, it is on this paper that we have. It says motion failed. A discussion and possible action on early college academy. The Martin County Board of Education voted 5-0 opposing continuing. Now, if we opposed continuing the early college academy with Big Sandy Community College due to funding, failed with a motion by Mr. Mickey McCoy and seconded by Mr. Gary Ball. And it was my understanding that we were voting on the continuation, and it actually was a 4-1 vote.
Yeah.
Is that right, Mr. Ball?
That's correct, because I voted against it. Because I explained my reasoning for voting against it if we got corporate sponsors.
Mhm. So either it should be,
So you didn't second it?
no, he couldn't have seconded it. It's like the other time that
Right.
Mr. Harless was
Exactly.
talking about,
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So either Mr. Gary Ball, it should be no, and the rest of us yes, or if the motion was put in a way, if we could check the recording, yeah, that's what it is, and see what the motion was. If it was to continue, then we should the 4 of us should have no, and Mr. Ball yes, and if it was to discontinue, then Mr. Ball should be yes, and the 4 of us no. But what I'm questioning is the voting,
Yeah.
the yes and no voting. So if we could look at a,
We
you know,
will.
And the second didn't hear that. I mean, because obviously Harry did not second that.
Yeah, I did not vote for it. And I thought it was to continue funding. I thought that was it, but I thought that was the motion that was made to continue funding.
the voice will tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna continue the group that's in it next
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, we're talking about the
But
new cohort.
that, no new cohort. We're not
Exactly.
gonna start another cohort.
Mike, can I ask you another question? Would you think, we got off of Ross Tarrant, not knowing, you would think they would be aware of the bat. Would you think KDD as means to that Greg Dunbar would be aware of this Indiana bat, long-eared bat?
I don't know, they might, but guess is, they have a lot of schools under construction, they get the materials in and probably don't pay any attention to whether some have trees on hillsides, you know, some are in meadows with no hills, they probably didn't pay attention to it, I would say.
Ross Tarrant, I guess, they've never built any schools except, what, Prairie Elementary, Prairie West, which very looks like a sieve.
They built two over there, for sure.
Well,
I said Prairie West, which looks like a sieve. Ross Tarrant.
Yeah, it's east.
East, Prairie East, okay, I'm sorry. But apparently they didn't know, even though they've been told time and time again, Warrington House really is over this long-eared bat, in a bat, leaky nose. And now you're going to delay your school because, for 2 months, because you can't cut a tree, because they've sat back and let this thing drag out. You can't cut trees till August.
Well, if they do a study, they don't find one.
They don't
did
find
it
any
2
bats.
years ago.
We don't have a problem.
Didn't find any.
yeah, but Larry said they did a study, 2 years ago, and they didn't find it. But you've gotta have another study.
So if they find one, that really wasn't a
If
very
they find
good.
one, it's a problem.
Which Roland is not very clear, his email was actually, so if you find a bat, what's the $50,000? Is that after, if you go ahead
We
and,
get a local guy.
what, clarify, he didn't make it clear. What's the $50,000 fine
Right.
if they find a,
For cutting their trees now.
Oh, if you
Or how they find the
cut
bat.
a tree, but if you do a study and there's no bats up there, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Right. They'll find the bats.
but we still gotta pay a fee
To do the
for
study.
doing a bat study.
So
$35.
tell them to pay that out of their profits.
Has there been a request that we do a study?
We have to, I believe.
Yeah,
Ours
we have to
already
do a hybrid, we have to do one,
Okay.
regardless, the hibernaculus. And then if we do an absence presence study, that's when we hire a biologist, we'll have Ross Brand hire a biologist, and they go up there at night.
Personally,
Two nights.
McCoy? No.
maybe I'm
I'm
wrong.
not a bat
We
specialist.
won't find out till
Mr. Lincoln?
Mr. Smith.
Quick, grab the Batmobile.
Here's what I feel. I think because Ross Tarrant has dragged their feet and did not listen, they should be the ones to pay for this bat study.
I agree.
We can ask.
I
They should
agree.
be in their court.
That's their mistake, they should pay for it.
I mean, they're told over and over and over for 8 months. I mean, you would think. And now, well, we've decided, yeah, we need to do a bat study. I think they should be the ones to pay. I don't think it should be the board.
Got me bad.
It's their mistake, not ours.
Ratify this
We
tonight.
need to, I guess, getting to the minutes, the board, whatever happened, I guess, at the special meeting, the board approved moving forward. And so other people, third parties, are going to be relying on this action. And so it'd probably be prudent to go ahead
To do
and
it.
ratify it and say, well, maybe I shouldn't have, but I'd vote. It just needs to pass. It just needs to pass.
Because we took the action last meeting,
But I'm sure they've got bids out right now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, that was the
Yeah, you
reason,
need
that
to-
was the
it
reason
needs
for
to
them doing it,
happen,
because they needed to get on with it.
And that's why we moved forward with it.
Because the thinking was if we waited till this meeting, it would delay it further.
Yeah, and
So we would ratify.
And
it.
is there a
call for a motion?
Make them
the bats could
correct
delay it
motion.
anyway.
Is there a call for a motion?
Bad issue. We'll look at that issue.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to ratify
Okay. I
what
have
we
a
did.
motion, I need a
Minutes.
second.
Yeah, the minutes.
Yeah, she's gonna correct the. On that.
I'll second it.
347, okay, we have a motion, we have a second.
I'd like
Say
to just
aye.
make a statement that I, you know, I don't agree with it, but, you know, since I voted, I'm not for it. I guess I'll vote. I still think it's wrong. I mean, the site prep and the bad issue, I was misled. Let's put it that way. I'll vote aye, but I was misled.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move on right now with the discussion and possible action of treasure orders in the amount of $412,377.38.
Here's our new treasurer.
Yeah, me.
Yes.
So you gonna be as good as Tammy?
I hope someday.
Are you gonna let us, are you gonna, I mean, you're not gonna be afraid to tell us, no, we can't afford that?
No.
That's good.
Um,
Any questions?
No question.
I mean, all the bills look,
Does anybody have any questions? for
yeah, I do, Larry.
regarding
I
the
mean,
bills?
not Larry, but Gary.
I'm sorry.
Okay, since you asked.
Go ahead.
The garbage pickup, does everybody understand that particular thing? It's on page 5.
Page 5 of the.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got, up there where it's got Wharf P5 on the right-hand corner.
Okay, do you want to explain that to the board, the garbage?
Oh, $67, there's two of those on there for April and for May. That is our portion of the garbage collection for here at Ford's office. And then the 4,000 is for, as cumulative for all the schools.
And that's a monthly fee.
Yes.
So we are paying for the schools up there, all around, 48. Even in, 48,000. The young man explained it to me, and I just wanted everybody to understand that we're paying that much money. Even in the summertime, when some of these schools don't produce the waste that they do during a normal school working month.
So it's not, I thought it was based on bulk, on what you have. It's not, okay, we get it.
It's just a set monthly fee.
Set monthly fee, what do we pay? I know that we had,
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley, what do we pay a month for that?
It was approximately the same thing for Apple Valley as it is for Hinkle.
It was what now?
It's approximately the same amount for both, for Apple Valley and for Hinkle.
You say approximately, which was less?
I think up until the last, maybe 4 or 5 months, we were paying around $3,600, maybe a little bit more to Apple Valley. But the last 2 or 3 invoices that I saw, it was $4,000 for Apple Valley.
$3,500 a month up to the last 2 months.
Is that, okay.
I just, that was my only, Madam Chair, that was my only question. I just wanted the clarification to come to the whole board because I got here early, but, and he was kind enough to answer a question for me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions on it? If not, I'm gonna need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
I have a motion, I need a second.
I'll second.
I have a second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is discussion and possible action on pay warrants in the amount of $699,891.51. Does anyone have any questions or comments on this one?
Which one is that one? I forgot. Is that one? This
What's this Brock, we got Brockman today, that's 5213, with water fountain, and then we've got a water pump. It's around $1,500, where's that at? I mean, what?
It's, by the way, it's probably, well, that's HVAC.
Maintenance.
Fountains on Martin Bay.
All right, so it has nothing to do with the water.
No, it's actually, it's actually the fountains in the schools, the water fountains in the schools. And
Okay, what, they replacing or what?
Yeah, this is looking at last month's bills.
Okay, they did what to them, Mike?
We bought a pump for Shellengark High School for about $1,500, but we were able to.
Okay.
They rebuilt, the Brockman Bay rebuilt the pump. As far as the water fountain, it was a replacement along schools, I'm not sure where it's at.
I need to sell me.
Did you say how much we paid?
Does anybody else have any questions or comments on the paid warrants? If not, I'm gonna need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion to accept, I need a second.
I'll second.
Have a motion, have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Our next item is discussion of possible action on conferences, vehicle requests, fundraisers, and use of district property.
it's just required conferences, the requests for field trips.
Okay, I do know a fundraiser, which I'm aware of one now, it's the band, okay, the band program, it just brought up to me that, they, apparently somebody started something, or maybe some of the students did, to buy some band equipment.
It was to buy an oboe at the high school.
Buying oboes, just oboes, or
Just
just,
a oboe.
just one oboe?
One oboe, yeah, one oboe.
Okay. Well, I was under the
That's
impression,
about $3,000.
the oboes are expensive, but I was under the impression that it was to buy musical instruments, period, just for the band.
It was for an oboe.
One oboe. $3,000 for an oboe. It's got a little tiny reed on it. Okay, so there's no, there's nothing, there's no fundraisers to just buy band equipment in general, correct?
No, not in general.
Okay, so they haven't made that request yet.
No.
That's a
But they
go,
can.
Gary, that's a GoFundMe page that's going to start.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's on GoFundMe, Australia, fix that.
Didn't we just have, well, it's been years ago, how many years ago, didn't we have someone donate like $10,000 a few years back to that?
Not
Or
bad.
maybe $10,000 worth of instruments? Is that not correct? I believe so.
That don't go very far, unfortunately.
Huh?
It stated $10,000 when you're buying band instruments doesn't go very far.
No, not a whole lot, but I don't remember anybody doing that.
Doing what?
Buying, donate $10,000 to buy
They did.
here?
Think so?
Are you serious? Who did it? 'Cause that'd be,
I don't think I can
Saying, see, I know Chris Stapleton did it in Johnson County.
Do you,
But,
do
yes,
60,000, do you need a
I need a motion.
motion made?
Okay, I need a
Approve that.
second.
I approve, or I second.
Second, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is superintendent matters. Do you have anything on that, Larry?
No, it's just, finance officer and someone to our sublist, sub-assistant.
Okay, that's report on it. The next item is discussion and possible action on KEDC membership fee in the amount of $2,262.17.
As you can see, this is just something we've always done. They provide a lot of services for us for the $2,000. I mean, I recommend we approve it and sign it and continue our relationship with them. They do a good job for us.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion. I need a second. I'll second. Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is discussion and possible action on the NTI program. This is non-traditional instruction.
Okay, this is our, the non-traditional instruction, like we used 10 days this past year. It worked out pretty good for us. We got some tweaking to do for next year, but, I mean, I recommend we apply for all 10 days, and if we don't use all 10, then that's okay. I do recommend that we apply for the 10, just for mercy, weather.
Okay.
On Superintendent James's advice, I'll make that motion.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'll second.
Have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Our next item is going to be our reports, administrative staff reports.
Mr. Blackburn, do you have a report?
Well, really, not a whole lot this late in the year. I can give you basically our K-Prep testing schedule. We tested from May the 3rd through May the 10th, essentially. So once we get that data in, we can give you a better roundabout part of our testing and what we're doing. Plus, we've also been doing end-of-course assignments end-of-course assessments at the high school, plus AP advanced placement tests at the high school. So the last 2 weeks, we've tested and tested and tested. So really, I can give you a better report probably in June, Mr. James. Any questions?
Okay. Martin County Educational Association report. Thank you.
Connie, Ms. Bird, do you have anything?
No, just get through the next 7 days.
7 days.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yesterday was 8.
School reports.
I don't think we have any school reports.
Mr. Gass?
Okay.
Yeah, I can give a report on the propane buses.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
They should be arriving sometime later part of the month. We've been in discussion with Furl Gas and America Gas, and both are preparing to bid on a field. We will authorize that product later part of the month, as James said. So they come in and put the propane field in. So those 2 buses should be arriving. They're already arriving in western Kentucky. So ours is coming from international, so it may be a little bit delayed. But you're looking at about $1.20 a gallon. For the propane's one bid we have initially. We'll keep track of all the mileage, and then there's some hope that you will be able to approve or apply to get your mileage back on every mile that anywhere from 37 to 50 cents a gallon after you use them for a year or so. Look forward to getting them in here. We're preparing to get the propane filled on the bus property. And if they show up tomorrow, we'll get them filled and start using them when school starts. So just want to give you an update on that. So, any questions?
Will the tank be put in by who?
Whoever gets the bid.
Okay, then we're assuming that we will stay with that particular company until death do us part?
No. There is some consideration about how long we can go. They will put the tank in on our site, maintain it, be responsible for it, up to, they want an agreement which is going to have to be talked to with the attorney up to 3 years. However, you can bid it annually, and whoever gets the bid will just bring their tank in and set it on the facilities. But with no surcharge, they want anywhere from 3 to 5 year bid agreement.
You understand what I'm asking? Now, our neighboring county, Johnson County, bids diesel like every month,
Every 2 weeks.
every 2 weeks. Wow. How often do we bid diesel?
We
Never.
bid it annually.
Yearly?
Every year. But then the fuel price fluctuates up and down from the refinery, whatever the going rate of diesel is. That's what.
So that bid, we bid it, but it fluctuates?
Yes, up and down.
It's for whatever it's going for. So
Yeah,
it's
for
a
example,
reasonable,
you know,
it's
just
a
on
reasonable
fuel-
rate.
Fuel alone this year, you saved about $100,000 on diesel this year alone.
I don't understand that, Mr. Cassidy. We bid diesel once for annually. We do it annually. But then it fluctuates. So in our bid papers, it says
Says
we
fair
are,
market value.
The diesel, whatever's coming out, been pulled out of the refinery, if it's down to wholesale price of $1.77, then whatever's bid into the bid, it goes up and down. So this year alone, it's looking like about 100,000 less than it did last year. So that's really good.
It's the same thing as bidding it every 2 weeks for the lowest price, correct?
Yeah, they have so many vendors in Johnson County, for example, aren't even put in a propane field because they have 3 or 4 propane dealers in their county.
right.
Whereas we don't. I talked down in western Kentucky, he's paying 64 cents a gallon, but he has like a company like Tractor Supply is right there in our county. We don't have what's called a propane distributor on the propane side of things. So by them investing into the fuel farm, it gives them a little bit of a commitment not to price us a surcharge on top of the price. But going into it right now, Farrell was at $1.26 and American Gas was $1.20. So that's going to be fair, somewhere in that neighborhood for your propane. But
Thank you,
fuel
Mr.
goes up
Cassidy.
and down, so.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Do you have anything else in there, Larry?
And I think we'll need to approve the bid for propane services, probably the last, that week of the 23rd too.
Okay.
Okay. Our next item is going to be approval to enter into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810 1C, proposal of pending litigation.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion, I need a second.
Got it?
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Stand in closed session. Executive session and to take any necessary action pursuant to KRS 61.810 1C, proposal for pending litigation, and there's no action to be taken at this time. But would like to amend the agenda on the use
Did we
of
vote to
district.
come out of the?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, got a motion?
I'll second it.
Okay.
That's
That's it,
okay.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have one more item that we would like to add to the use of district property that Lois has brought in, and it's for Babe Ruth baseball, to use our baseball field.
They won't use it until after the high school season's finished. Does anybody
This
need
is
to look at
after
it?
the high school has finished their season?
They have their own insurance, I believe their insurance information is here. They spoke with Mr. Cassidy. Under the Cal Ripken insurance. They can't play on the little fields because it's an older 13 to 15-year-olds.
So this is for 3 months, basically, in 2 days?
I guess, I don't know, whatever it says on it.
When did it start? After baseball?
After baseball season.
It's about June.
Just may I'll let you see this.
Usually have Cal Ripken will last, maybe July or something.
This is the first time Martin County's, well, this is not the first time they've had a 13 to 15-year-old. They haven't had one in a long time.
We're gonna continue with Lafferty taking care of the fields, because I think I saw something that we just agreed, the board agreed to do the baseball season. Like, somewhere. I mean, are we gonna continue with him?
I don't know, I haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, through this period of time?
Right, yeah, I think we had him
What
in.
would be the cost of having it for the,
Well, to take care of the fields, not just
Yeah.
for that, I mean, regardless, if
Yeah,
that's
we have
passed
to.
or not,
Yeah, we
field
have to.
stuff be taken care of. I hadn't thought about that, Larry. That's how it gets in a bad shape, we only do it for so long. And then it grows up and you have to work even more hard to fix it.
how long does their contract run?
I think I saw something that it ends when baseball season,
That's-
the high school.
Yes.
I think I saw that.
Yes, maybe you could check with finance and see if,
We need to negotiate another contract.
We negotiated a contract for
But this is
this
not,
group to
this
play?
is not actually a school.
no, not
The
this.
Lafferty
Not-
boys cutting and marking and taking care of the fields. I think we only got him to do it till high school baseball season's over, which could be next few weeks.
We can mark our own fields, I mean, you're talking about him just maintaining the high school field, right? Not for this league here. This league is something separate from the school, so.
Yeah.
He's just talking about taking care of the fields.
Right, the general cutting grass, maintaining,
Right.
all the stuff.
Right. So what do we say? Do I say I make a motion to allow them to use the
Yes.
field? Okay, I'll make a motion to allow the Cal Ripken 13-15 run.
I'll second.
Have a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This time I need a motion for adjournment.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, I need a second.
Aye.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?